This man is violent and he's violent towards people that
I'm trying
we
to
should
figure
protect.
out why there was so much hostility. But it doesn't say anything about drugs. You weren't on drugs at this time? Because that explains a lot of.
What happens when a man threatens to kill his own mother and then blames her for it? In this Texas courtroom, Jock Harris pleads guilty to burglary of a habitation, a second-degree felony after breaking into his mother's apartment, causing damage, and sending terrifying threats. He says it was desperation. But does desperation excuse violence? And with a sentencing cap of 6 years, will the judge show mercy or make an example out of him?
Attorneys to sound in. It looks like on criminal history, he has a misdemeanor 16 years ago, 15 days county jail, interfering with an emergency call. That's a misdemeanor. And then it looks like in 2009, you were placed on probation for criminal mischief.
Yes.
That was revoked and you were sentenced to 2 years on April 12th of 2010, after your probation was revoked. You were also convicted 2 months later from that probation revocation for forgery and 1 year in the state jail. My guess is that forgery was the cause of why the criminal mischief was revoked and why you were sentenced. So they put that together. So you got 2 convictions, 2 felonies of would both of those state jails? I can't tell.
It's hard to tell from that.
It says convicted state, 1 year state jail forgery. We know that, but the criminal mischief.
Give me a second, I have to look it up.
The criminal mischief was a state jail judge.
Okay.
Both of them are state
There's
jails.
2 state jail convictions and a misdemeanor conviction. Is that about right?
That's
I think
right.
everybody. All right. And this was a terrible situation, according to these facts, where on October 6th, in this case, officers respond to a location where it is reported that the defendant was threatening to kill, looks like his mother, and break into her apartment. It states that the defendant had previously assaulted her, and that management has even changed locks to prevent him from accessing. He sent several threatening messages. They had to deploy a taser multiple times before he was restrained. There was damage. All right. He was experiencing significant stress at the time related to transportation and employment issues, which contributed to desperation. There's a broken window that would cost about $300 to fix, and then amount of some clothing was damaged by bleach, causing an estimated $500. So there's a total of $800 lost from this damage, according to the victims. And the defendant, when the probation office was completing this pre-sentence report, the victim stated that he did not want probation in this case.
You said victim, Judge. You meant
I'm sorry. The defendant did not complete the preliminary pre-sentence paperwork. He stated that he was not was not interested in probation. He explained that although he hoped for an incarceration sentence of less than 6 years, he did not believe he could successfully complete a 10-year probation term due to the lack of family and community support, as well as transportation and inadequate paid employment. In a statement to the court earlier, the defendant stated that if his mother had assisted him in retrieving his personal belongings from her residence, instead of ignoring him and locking him out, this current crime offense he's charged with would not have occurred.
Under Texas law, burglary of a habitation is a serious second-degree felony punishable by 2 to 20 years. Here, the deal capped it at 6. But listen closely: prior felonies, revoked probation, threats to kill his mother, and property damage totaling $800. Prosecutors argued he blamed the victim instead of taking responsibility. If he already failed probation before, should the court even consider leniency? Or does his criminal history caution strongly against it?
Go ahead.
Your Honor, actually, everything that I had highlighted to bring to your attention is stuff you just read off the work here. Except for the only thing I'm going to go to is on the last page, I think, page 5. That's the factors that might favor leniency. I'm sure the court's reviewed those or whatever. I think the big one that pops out to me is the word desperation. Everything was driven by desperation.
Hold on. We're going to that. The paragraph after that
Yes,
one we were talking to are several factors that might caution against leniency.
Yes,
in all fairness.
Yes.
Okay. It looks like there's
good and they're both. Yes, Your Honor. But it's my job to highlight the goods. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, like as I said, it's talking about a desperation, that it was a weird family situation. He was having some issues going on his mind, caused him to break into the house and do what he did. It's not excusing it at all, but it's some things there. Talk about how he was a AB student in school, just made school band. He's a clarinet player.
I did too. I played the sax and the woodwinds. Okay, go ahead.
No juvenile record. As we talk about, his criminal record is minimal. There is some stuff not really egregious. So I think that's kind of leaning into the factor on this. And then, like you said earlier, he said he did not want probation, doesn't think he could finish probation, has not finished probation in the past. So we'd be asking for something less than 6. Obviously, we're not going to ask for 2. We're not going to ask for the minimum, but somewhere between, in the range of 4. I think that would be a fair number in this case, considering the what's going on here.
How much time does he have credit, please?
You know how much time you've been in jail, about how long
Yes.
would you say?
This makes 6 months.
About 6 months?
So 6 months. Yeah.
You okay there, buddy?
Yeah.
Hang in there.
My daughter had a sleepover this weekend, so it was,
Oh, the kids,
chaos at the house.
the kids ran
Yeah.
ransom of Red Chief. Did they take over?
Yeah.
One to 47.
Yeah, it's close to, it's about 6 months.
Like I said, we're just asking for something in the range of
Stay.
Mr. Harris is the only reason why we're all standing here. He gets there and he threatens to kill his mom. She calls the cops. He is on a tirade in which they still hear the threats that he's making. In the time frame that he's there, he really tears everything up. And what's most telling about what it is, when I originally assessed this, that this was worth 6 years, is the fact that he doesn't want probation. And Your Honor already highlighted and stole my argument that right there on page 4, in a statement to the court, the defendant asserted that if his mother had assisted him in retrieving his personal belongings instead of ignoring him and locking him out, this never would have happened. So he basically blames his mom for the fact that he had to show up, threaten to kill her, and tear up all of her stuff. I don't believe in giving sympathy to somebody who does that. Who the heck does that to their mother? The only thing I can ask for in good conscience is 6 years, Judge.
And go ahead, sir. You can, whatever you want, Mr. Harris.
Wasn't going to do that. It was just me just being so upset at her because when I was.
Great, she's got to hear you. Yeah, you have a soft voice.
Very clear.
Yeah.
I was me doing that time and I was already going to do that. I was just so very so upset and hurt. Then my mother really, answered my calls. And I was at work too. She could at least call me to make me know. Yes. And when I walked all the way from work to home and I seen the doors changed, locked. And I called her from my phone about 10 times, 10, 15 times. And I knew she wouldn't answer the phone because of a situation that we had about me, that I didn't pay her back some money. So I think she did that out of spite. I didn't have nowhere to go, anything. I just wanted to get my thing.
Why didn't you have someplace to go? Why weren't you independent? I paid my way since I was 16.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. You got to just work.
And me having no support,
I didn't. I did my own thing. But day after Sunday, what's one of the commandments? Honor thy father and thy mother. That's not a suggestion.
Yeah.
That was a commandment.
Cool.
But I say that not to spend time on religious thought, but law is morally based from the commandments. Our law is directly based on much of the commandments. Thou shalt not steal, honor, harm no one, give each person respect, live honestly. It's all wrapped up in there. But this is your mother.
I may highlight, Judge, on page 1 that an item that wasn't objected to is the fact that the whole reason why she had him locked out of the house was the fact that he assaulted her less than 10 days before. So it's not like it's a one-time situation. And this man is violent, and he's violent towards people that
I'm trying
we
to
should
figure out why there was so much hostility. But it doesn't say anything about drugs. You weren't on drugs at this time? Because that explains a lot of behavior I see every day. And I'm sorry I was speaking when she can't take us both speaking at the same time. And you have a fair opportunity to respond. But too often people are in this court who are on drugs and they act bizarre. And this was bizarre here. This was very violent. And of all people to a parent, that's irrational behavior. And generally we see that with drugs. But if you weren't on drugs and you were clear-headed, other than just mad and angry, that's different.
The judge zeroed in on something deeper, not just the law, but the anger. No drugs, no confusion, just rage. He questioned why a grown man, physically able to work, earning decent wages before, would spiral into threats and violence against his own parents. When Harris brought up childhood trauma, the judge pushed back. One bad turn doesn't deserve another. Was that tough love or a missed chance at understanding generational pain?
That's worse. But it's no way to. What What were any injuries to his mom? Did we have any?
I did not get a medical report, Judge, to detail that to your honor on that. Let me see if I can dig something out of the reports. Are you, there weren't any as to the October incident, the property and all that is what
Just
was
more of threats.
And I did not get a detailed
And then
report on the
destruction.
27th.
Mhm. It's just. Okay. Oh, after this is all over, where are you going to go to live?
We'll be homeless. Brother will be homeless.
Well, are you able to work? Are you physically able to work?
It's getting to work.
All right, well, do that, right? I did that the day I turned 16. 80 cents an hour, 3 a.m. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All you gotta do is be willing to work. And you're physically able to, right?
Yes, sir.
What trade do you have? Do you have any trade?
The trade up did jobs here and there. I worked in department stores. I worked in plants. I worked in
Doing what? In the refineries?
I was a fire watch.
Hmm.
Uh,
What were you making? How much were you
trash
making?
collector.
How much were you making an hour at the refinery?
Well, that was years ago. That was like 2 to 1. It was like a tip job. It was 20 an hour, I think.
Okay, that's $40,000 a year.
That was when I was like,
That's a fortune to somebody who was making 80 cents an hour.
can I mention something, young?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the situation with the family violence thing. It's like some trauma with me because my mother abused me when I was small. When I was in 6th grade, so that was like when I was 12 or 13.
What do you mean?
When she hit me with a ring, when I couldn't get no matter from her. So all the way up to this point, I still think so. So maybe I wanted
She hit you with a ring?
Yes, right. Ring on my finger. She was helping me with homework. I mean, I probably that I didn't get right. So no, it's not.
So why did she do that?
Because why would she do that?
Yeah.
Because she just
What provoked her to do that?
because I couldn't get them out probably homework, helping me with my homework.
Oh. Mhm. Okay. Well, one bad turn doesn't deserve another one. If you knew that was wrong, why would you assault her later? Sir?
Me thinking about that situation.
Oh.
Me thinking about that situation.
Look, every kid growing up I knew got spanked sometime. It's just discipline.
It's not discipline.
There was trauma there, I can guarantee you, but that didn't mean that I'm gonna spend my whole life trying to get back at my parents for discipline. That's discipline. Well, that's just, but this is all this is really, at the end of the day, unreasonable because you had threatened her, broke into the apartment, damaged, sent threatening messages. There's an anger here that is not natural between a child and a parent. And I hope you can work that out, but that's something you're going to have to work out personally. But you didn't get to pick your parents. That was a natural event. You got to try to work things out. There's good times and bad times, but it's not going to just, there's not going to be a bolt out of the sky necessarily that's going to change. You've got to resolve it. And she, but y'all have a family that's broken. This isn't good. Like I said, you didn't get to pick your family. Nate, our creator, did that. So you're in good times and bad times. But I hope that gets resolved. What are you gonna do when you're released? Where are you gonna go?
Let me go search my church, see if I can get some.
You're gonna live in this area?
You live in Bowling, yes.
All right, anything else?
Oh, yeah.
And John, again, I know what the state's asking, what are you, sir?
4.
All right, and if nothing further than this, I'm going to find Mr. Harris, you have pleaded guilty, in this case voluntarily. You are mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm going to follow this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 5 years. You will be given credit for term all time you have served in accordance with this case. Do you understand what has happened today?
Yes, sir.
When you were released, try to make peace with your family.
Yes, sir.
You only have family that the Creator gave you.
Yes, sir.
And there was an intent for that. So fix it. Okay. Thank you. Anything else, John? We've got,
In the end, the judge followed the agreement for 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, with credit for 6 months already served, not the maximum 6, not the 4 the defense hoped for, 5. Before sending him away, the judge told him to make peace with your family. But here's the question: was 5 years justice for the mother or an opportunity for redemption? What do you think this sentence truly accomplished?